Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Petra.
And I'm Josh.
And if you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. We really appreciate you. And so today we want to talk about cruises that people are getting for free by playing in casinos. Now we have seen these videos several times and it's piqued our interest. Now, we're really not gamblers, but when you're talking about free cruises and you're somebody who is doing full-time travel, that's of interest. So we took a couple of cruises and we thought, let's test this out. We gave ourselves a budget, so we made sure we're not going over it, and we did it. We did the program. So stay with us, and at the very end we'll tell you how it worked out for us. But what we're going to do is go ahead and talk about Royal Caribbean's casino program and all the benefits and the points and everything that you need, and at the end we'll tell you how it worked out for us.
Hi, we're Josh and Petra, early retirees traveling the world slowly while sharing honest insights about retirement and life on the road. Join us and share in the journey.
Did you know that some people are taking multiple Royal Caribbean cruises every single year for free, just from gambling in casinos? And no, we're not talking about millionaires dropping tens of thousands of dollars. Royal Caribbean's Casino Royale program has a tier system where players can earn free drinks, free internet, discounted cruises, balcony cabins, and even free cruises every year. But here's the catch. A lot of people don't actually understand how the points work, how much gambling it really takes, or whether the rewards are even worth it. So in this video, we're breaking down every Casino Royale tier, how many points that you need at each tier, what perks you actually get when you reach those tiers, and the types of free cruises you can win, and the reality of what this could cost you. Because these offers can be amazing, casinos are still designated to make money. So let's break it all down.
So how does the program work? Well, the casino program with Royal Caribbean is called Club Royale. It is completely separate from the Crown and Anchor loyalty program with Royal Caribbean. As a matter of fact, the casino program is not run by Royal Caribbean, it is run by a separate company. So completely different. And so with this program, with the casino, the Club Royale, when you're gambling on board, you are earning points. And the key thing to understand this is that even though it is separate from the Crown and Anchor, and if you've cruised before, you know you usually have a card that you use to make all of your purchases to get on and off the ship with. You have to use that card when gambling. So you're scanning it so they know who you are and what room you're with. So and they call that your C-Pass card. So you're using that C-Pass card to gamble. If you don't insert that C-Pass card, and you're just maybe go up with it cash, and that's fine, you can do that, but you're not earning points. So you have to use your C-Pass card that associates you playing that machine, or if you're playing like poker or something else like that, in order for them to track those points to you while you're playing. So I had mentioned there's different things that you can play. One, you can play slots. They've got video poker, or they also have the table games like roulette and that kind of stuff. But the points you earn are all different depending on what you're playing. So for slots, you're earning 1 point for every $5 that cycles through the machine. For video poker, you're earning 1 point for every $10 cycled through the machine. And then for table games, that's a little bit different because those points are based upon your average bet and how long you've played. So table games can feel a little less predictable. So this is important to remember. So I kind of said cycled through, or like kind of coin in, or money played. All those terms can be used to mean the same thing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're losing all that money, because when you're playing like the slot machines, because that's what we did, you're winning money as you go along. And if you're playing those funds that you win, that means that money that you won is now cycled back through the machine, or that is money played. So if you put in $100 into the slot machine and you keep respinning any winnings that you win, and let's say you do that over a couple of hours, the total amount that you won could have been $1,000, even though your initial amount that you played was maybe like $100 or $200. So that's what they mean by the money cycled through. So 1 point for every $5 cycled through. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily paying $5, but your winnings, if you're replaying them, do. So that's how you can earn these points, right? And so let's kind of talk about the tiers next.
The first tier is called Choice, and honestly, this is the beginner level. You automatically start here when you join the Club Royale. So the Choice tier is anywhere from 0 to 2,499 points. The benefits at this tier include promotional casino offers, casino emails and discounts, access to casino promotions on board, and the ability to earn instant rewards during your cruise. So just to give you an example of that, when we were in the casino, things that they did on a regular basis is they were doing drawings, and they were consistently at the same time throughout the day, whatever they did their drawings, and they were giving away some play money for whoever was present that had reached certain point levels within the casino, either that day or total. But the meaningful perks really start once you hit what's called Prime, which is the 2,500 point tier. Prime is where things get interesting. To reach Prime status, you need 2,500 points in a casino year, which that's a full year. So you can do that over multiple cruises, not just the one cruise. It could be several to get to 2,500 points. Once you do attain 2,500 points, though, you are now a Prime member.
And a casino year is not a calendar year. It actually starts April 1st and goes through March 31st.
And that's specifically for Casino Royale.
Yeah.
That's not for other cruise lines. So once you hit Prime, you unlock some of the most talked about casino perks. And the reason they're the most talked about is because a lot of people are on Prime, and that's when they start to notice like the real perks. So with Prime benefit or Prime membership, your benefits include free drinks in the casino while the casino is open, which is a great deal, because then you don't have to buy a drinks package if you know you're going to be in casino. Second, they have a waived casino convenience fee. So when we were playing, we noticed that they were charging every time we were pulling money in from our account, our room account. It would charge us $3 for each transaction, and so that gets waived once you get to Prime. They're no longer charging you that convenience fee. You get discounts on the Voom internet package, and then this is when they start offering special cruises for you. These are the free cruises is what happens. Discounted rates for friends and family. So while you may get a free cruise, you'll have a discounted rate for a second or third or fourth person in your room. And then annually with Prime, you get one interior room on a cruise ship free somewhere. Now, that free annual cruise still requires taxes, port fees, and gratuities, and that's true for all the free cruises. You have to pay those things. So it's not 100% free. However, it's significantly discounted. This is where people are, when they're talking about free cruises, they're still spending maybe $200 to $400 on their cruise, It's in the port fees and the taxes and the gratuities. That's what they're paying. But if you think about it, you get everything else for free. That's a great deal. So it's not completely free, but for many cruisers, Prime is the sweet spot because the free drinks perk alone can save you hundreds on their drink packages, especially if you spend a lot of time in the casino. So then there is the signature tier. This is not a particularly easy tier to get to. This is definitely one of those tiers that you will be more than likely working towards within a cruise year instead of just on one cruise. It's 25,000 points. So if you think about it, 2,500 gets you to Prime. 10 times that is now the next level. But there's a big jump in the perks for this massive leap from Prime. So signature benefits include everything from Prime, plus you get free Wi-Fi for one device for the entire cruise. It offers a $350 FE jewelry credit, and you get casino offers still, but they offer you better offers, the special bonus, better casino offers. And there's an annual complimentary balcony cruise. And that's also kind of what we've seen with the signature tier is instead of getting interior ocean view cruise offers, and with the sprinkling of balconies is what we saw with Prime, when you get to this higher tier, now they're everything is balconies. At this level, Royal Casino clearly considers you a very valuable casino guest. And this is usually where people start receiving much more aggressive cruise offers through email and traditional mail. The last tier is the Masters tier, and you thought the jump from 2,500 to 25,000 was high. Well, if you're a consummate, gambler, and you know you're going to be in the casino for the majority of your cruise during the sea days, then you could possibly see the Master tier in a year, especially if you're cruising with Royal Caribbean consistently. To reach Master status, you have to attain 100,000 points within a cruise year. Master's benefits include everything from the previous tiers. Plus, now you're invited to lunch events. You get access to the coastal kitchen and on eligible ships. There's now onboard credit included. You get VIP treatment. There's premium casino offers. Can only imagine what that is. I'm sure it's even more money to spend on the casino free play, as I call it. And an annual complimentary grand suite cruise. Now, we have followed a few people on YouTube, and I believe there was one girl, one of the YouTubers that I can think of that did talk about her suite on one of her cruises. So it is something that you can attain, and it's definitely a good goal to have if it's something that you enjoy doing. If you enjoy being at the casino, then absolutely it's something to go for. So at this point, Royal Caribbean is treating you like a true high roller. But let's be realistic. Getting to 100,000 points usually requires an enormous amount of gambling activity. So this is a tier that is definitely reserved for the consummate gamblers.
Okay, so let's talk about those free cruises. What does that actually mean? And honestly, this is the part where most people, this is what they care about, right? The free cruises. And so this is where it can be a little bit confusing. There are three main ways in which people can get free or highly discounted, or I should say deeply discounted, cruise offers through Club Royale. The first is the annual tier cruises. So we had mentioned once you get to Prime, you'll get an annual cruise. Those tend to be more interior rooms, although it did look like some could be ocean view, at that level, right? So that's one way, is through the getting Prime, which is that yearly benefit package. And he had mentioned, like, once you get to Signature and Masters, those choice of room categories go up. So you balcony and the grand suites. The second way is through your instant rewards during your cruise. And Royal has the hostess table, they will have a list that you can scan, and it will show you all of the different cruises that are being offered and how many points you need to get there on that individual cruise. And just depending on, I think you could get free cruises starting as little as 600 points. And then, they go all the way up to rooms where you're spending a lot of points and money and cycling through and getting those suites. Anyway, so that's the second one, what you are actually playing on that specific cruise. So you can also accumulate your points that you earn on that cruise, not only get you the immediate or initial reward as a free cruise, but you get to keep those points, as we talked about, and you'll continue to grow if you do more cruises towards your tier status. Okay. And then the third type is these targeted casino offers. And so this part is a little bit more mysterious because there's not really a list that you can see ahead of time. You'll get email offers as well as mailings, like in the actual mail, right? And you'll have all of these different cruises that you could pick from if you wanted to. And this is where a lot of people, they say that these targeted offers are better than the ones that you get for the actual cruise, like your instant reward cruises. They said these are usually much better, and you'll get, let's say you get an email and they might have maybe 10 different offers. And we know people that will claim like 3 or 4 of those for different times of the year. And so that's great. And you just don't get one, you get multiple of these email offers. And the different, right? So as they come throughout the different months, and so there'll be different offers. They can also include offers that will not only get the free room, but you can get some free play money. They might offer you free drinks if you're not already part of Prime yet. So if you're in one of the lower levels, you might get the free drinks with it. They might offer you, even though you're only Prime, and the annual cruise is for, if you're Prime, for an interior room. These other offers that you get like in the mail, these targeted offers could be for balcony rooms, ocean view rooms, of course the interior. So they could be even higher levels, right? But here's the thing to remember is that the casino is giving you these offers because they believe that you're going to play on all of these cruises, and that's a way that they make money. So they're giving you these incentives. Now, do you have to continue gambling on every cruise in order to continue to get the offers? And we've heard a lot of people say no, they don't necessarily cruise on, or they don't gamble on every cruise, but at some point in time, you might see your offers going down because you're not booking or you're not playing enough, right?
So now let's talk honestly for a minute. Because social media will sometimes make this sound like it's an easy travel hack, but casinos are not giving away free cruises just because they're generous. They're doing it because statistically, most players lose more money than the cruise costs.
Yeah.
So they are giving you, in your mind, a free cruise, but the expectation is that you will gamble on that cruise and effectively lose enough money to the casino to cover its cost for giving you the room in the first place. And that's just a general, it's not always true. You can come out ahead at times, and then other times may not, the house always wins. There's a reason why that phrase exists, is because that's usually what ends up happening in the long run. And so they're they're hedging their bets by bringing you in the hope of making more money off of you.
Yeah. So if you have an issue with gambling, of course this is probably not anything that you want to do, because you do have to be able to stop.
Yes. So if you're thinking, I'll just gamble my way to free vacations, you need to approach this very carefully. A lot of experienced cruisers say the smartest approach is to gamble only with money you already planned to spend on entertainment. So if you were holding some money aside for the ports and excursions, or you were going to just blow some money on something like paintings or other things that they have for sale on the ship, then use that money for your gambling money, and keep that in mind. And then, that's something that we did going in, was we created a budget. We said specifically, this is the amount that we're willing to risk, and we're not going to go any higher than that. So set a hard limit before you even sit down, like what your cutoff is. Maybe even for that day that you're there, you're only going to gamble so much money per day. And then never chase losses. So if you're losing and you feel like, oh, it's just a matter of time.
We're on the corner.
We're going to turn the corner and it's going to start going up and it's going to be great. Don't do that. That's like chasing the dragon. If anybody's familiar with that quote. And treat any offers that you get as like a bonus. If you do get to a point where you're getting offers, that's great. Those are the perks of being a loyal, in this case, Casino Royale member. But it's not a strategy for saving money. I mean, you're literally putting your savings at risk by doing this, and this is for entertainment purposes.
Yes.
And remember, the casino environment on cruise ships is designed to keep you playing. Free drinks, ocean views in some cases. You've got the vacation energy. You're gonna cut loose and do stuff that you don't normally do at home, right? You've got a few days away from all of that craziness, right? So now I'm gonna just chill and have a great time, and let's be manic, right? Let's just not worry about anything. Well, the casinos know that you're there, especially here on a cruise ship, that's the plan anyway. So they absolutely tailor everything within the casino to keep you in the casino playing as long as possible, because they will eventually get all of your money if you stay too long.
Okay, so is it worth it? So we're going to talk about our experience here, because it can be worth it for some people. And this is our experience. So we went in with a limit. We tried to learn as much as we could. However, we were still up at the hostess desk many times asking questions, because we're not gamblers. We don't do this, and we've never done it.
No.
So, and that's okay. They're there to answer their questions, and quite honestly, they're very helpful. So don't act like you're bothering them in any way. We let them know, hey, this is our first time playing in the casino, and they know that people are there trying to get the free cruises, so it's not a secret. And we should ask a little bit more questions initially in the beginning, but he gave us directions on how to add money to the account, so we did that. We decided to take our budget and divide it over 5 sea days. And so this was kind of like the first night, and we weren't using a whole lot of money. I think we said, let's just try $100 just so we can kind of get used to it, see what kind of happens.
Yeah, and figure out how the games are played.
Yes. And so we picked a casino, put the money on it, spent about $25 of that 100. We could see that we were building points, which was the ultimate goal, but it didn't seem like we were really kind of winning money to put back in. So we thought, okay, let's just try a different machine. So we hit the goodbye button. Now, what is important that I'm going to tell you is make sure before you hit goodbye, you always cash out. You hit cash out. And on Royal, they will give you a slip with the remaining balance. And at that point, it's like cash. And so you can go to another machine and you get your account up and you put it in there. Well, we didn't do that because we didn't really know. And we went to another machine and tapped our card, and there was no money there. And we're like, what happened? Well, what had happened is somebody else came up behind us and was playing on the money that we had there. And then they I think realized it and got the slip, and then they went to the cashier desk and cashed out and got our money. Now, of course, we were new, we didn't understand what was going on. And then we went back to the host, and they called somebody else from the casino. We told them what happened. We had to go down to the front desk and fill out a PPR report. We talked to the security officer. They went back, they looked at all the footage. We don't know, but they knew what had, the young couple that came behind us, whether the young couple understood what was happening or they thought they won it, which I don't think that was the case. But in the end, Casino Royale gave us the money back. So, important point, if you're playing and you're brand new, always cash out, first.
Can I add something?
Yep, absolutely.
So one of the things that was kind of obvious to me, and probably was obvious watching the video, and by the way, there are cameras in every corner. They can see everything on that casino floor. They're on everything. Now, they're not watching people the whole time. If they see something suspicious, yes, but otherwise, they're just going to go back to the tape. And that's what they did. And I think that the way that that young couple was behaving was pretty obvious that they knew what they were up to. So we never saw them in the casino again while we were there. And I think that might have been what kind of happened as a result of our report.
But we don't know.
We don't know, yes.
So there are a lot of different slot machines, and we had learned that most people, especially if you're new at this and you're trying to earn the free cruises, tend to pick low volatile type of machines where you're winning more consistently and the payout is less than the machines that have like $10,000. You're going to put in a lot more money and you might win some here and there. Those are the ones we chose not to do. And we found one that we particularly liked and we stayed with it. And there was, like I said, we decided to go over 5 days and we kind of broke that up, our budgeted amount among those 5 days. And even though you might still have money, you kind of also have to know when just to say, we're just done for the night. So for example, we had started with our daily allotted amount, and we lost and lost and lost, and we got down to like $15. Now again, the goal for us was to try to get these points. And then all of a sudden we started winning a lot of money, and it got up to almost like $1,200, and we're just like, nope, we're done for tonight. We're done. One of the things that, I mean, it's not a surprise, but one of the things that we noticed is as we were playing, the machine we were on, we kind of stuck with the same one all the way through, was that you would get some big wins and then some small wins, and then you would kind of go, because they want their money back, you would start losing, and it seemed like it was you would almost go 15 rounds before you would, get some more wins. So, because Josh started counting, like how many rounds. But again, that's just what we noticed. It's not hard, fast. We're not saying every machine does that. Right. And it wasn't always true on the even machines we played. So we knew that, okay, because it flows, right? You're going to win, you're going to lose, and that kind of stuff.
I just want to mention that when we were there, and we had met some people that were also gambling, and they were very generous with their information, friendly, happy to see new gamblers. I felt like in general the gamblers were friendly. Some of them were, when they were playing, were very focused and didn't want to be bothered, but if they took a break, they were so friendly and talkative. And anyway, we got some information from them that instead of waiting 15 to 20 spins for a win like we were doing, they were like, hey, why don't you just change the bet around and do this, do that. They were making recommendations on how to break up the game so that you can get back to winning again. And while I paid attention to all of that, I haven't really tried any of it because we found the way that we were doing it to be easier.
Yeah.
Really, it was just easier.
Yep. So in the end, our budget was $2,000. We played 2,100 because we had that first night of 100. We weren't initially sure if we were gonna get that money back. So we played $2,100. And Josh, what was the end results?
So the end result...
Were we down or were we up?
The end result was that we were down. However, we weren't down by much. So in order to get 2,547 points,
we just wanted to make sure we're over 2,500 by a little bit, so
Yeah.
there was no question we were over
There's
2,500
no
points.
doubt
That's right.
It took, as she said, the $2,100. We came out minus 225 total,
Right.
which is really not bad at all.
Right, because if you think about it, at that point in time, $225, and we had at least 2 guaranteed cruises. Now that doesn't include, right? So that's that instant offer for on that cruise ship, and then the annual cruise for the tiered for being a
Membership.
prime member, right? So those two. That doesn't count anything that we might get in the targeted offers through the email or hard copy mail that they send out, right? So a minimum of 2 for $225. That does not include the port fees and taxes though, or any gratuities.
Right. and
Okay.
We still have to pay that. One thing that did transpire by hitting the 2,500 point mark was that we now became eligible for some free play on the last day of the cruise. They gave us $50.
$50.
So
We it was recommended to us to use the $50 on the very last day. And on the very last day of the cruise, from what we experienced with Royal and with Princess, anything that you play that day doesn't count towards your points. It ends on basically,
the night before the last day.
yeah, right, is for counting purposes of your points.
Yeah.
So this was just a free play with $50.
So midnight on the night before your last day at sea
Yeah.
is the last time that you can accumulate points.
So we had $50. We said, hey, let's go try our hand,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we went, played the $50.
We went back to the game that we've been playing this whole time.
She had been good to us.
That's right.
We're hoping to continue to be good.
Gave it a try, and just when we thought things were gonna go
We're
south,
down to
'cause
$5.
we were down to our last $5, and then things took a turn for the better.
We sure did.
And we had a nice little winning streak. Got to a point where we had a nice tidy profit, and we were like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't push our luck and we should just get out
That's
of
right.
here.
So
So we ended up, might as well tell you, we ended up winning $400 off that $50 free play, and adding that to the minus 225 means that we came out up $175
right.
for the cruise. So now we're prime members. We've got 2 free cruises. We've already booked one, and we were walking away with $175. Is that normal? No.
We're not telling you that you're going to get the same exact results.
Did we
No.
luck out on that one? Boy, we did. I don't know how that happened. It may have been the casino just, we're new and they knew it.
And you're
they're
fresh
like,
meat. It smelled
That's
fresh
right.
meat.
They're like, we're gonna set you up. We're gonna make you winners this time, and next time you're gonna come back, and we're gonna get all
Yep.
our money back.
Yeah. So we got the certificate. Now here's the thing: when you get the instant cruise offer, you will be given, on the one we had, there's a QR code. You scan it. It has all of the cruises, and it has contact information. You have to call the casino, or the number for Casino Royale, listed within 30 days to claim a cruise. Now you don't have to cruise within 30 days. You have 1 full year to cruise. But if you try to book that at 31 days out, you're not getting it. So we're like, we're doing it right away.
Yeah.
So we did. We booked it and it was available, you know.
Didn't we have to do something on the ship though before we
thank
left?
you. Yes. So with Royal, one of the things also that they make you do is you have to go either to the Future Cruise office, or sometimes they'll have a member from the Future Cruises down maybe on like the last night in the casino. And you need to go ahead and pay $200 for that future cruise. Okay. And that goes towards the port fees and taxes.
Yeah. So you're essentially putting money down on the next cruise.
Yes. And if your port fees and taxes are less than that, they will reimburse you. So we had done that. We had put it down. And when we called, the cruise that we picked is going to be in the area where we're vacationing this year here in Europe. And for 2 people, the port fees and taxes was just a little over $400. So we needed to go ahead and pay a little bit more. Plus we decided to go ahead and prepay the gratuities. So we paid the port fees, taxes, and the gratuities. And I think the gratuities was about $260 total. So we're looking at about $600 for a cruise for 2 here in Europe. So it's not completely free. And some people choose not to pay the gratuities until they get on the ship, and that's okay. We just decided to go ahead and pay them early.
Yeah. And does that include the 175 profit the 600?
Well, we can take that off of there. So if we took about 600 minus 175, you'd get?
We would get 425.
Roughly.
I think it's 425. So we're paying 425 for that cruise. It's a Mediterranean cruise, so
Yep.
we're excited for that. We're gonna get to see some cities
Yep.
we hadn't seen before.
So we know this was a long video, longer than normal for us guys, but if you've stayed till the end, thank you so much. For us, it was definitely worth it. We are currently on a different cruise, and we're going to try our luck on this cruise. Again, we're using the same principles. We have a limit. We did gamble last night in the slots, and we're hoping to make the points that we need on this cruise, because it is not a Royal Caribbean cruise. It is a different cruise line, and we'll do a video later on about our experience here. And so thank you guys so much for being with us, listening to it. It is possible. It's energizing to kind of see that the things that people were telling you could do actually work out and is favorable, you know. But again, the results that we had may not. We could have easily spent $2,000 and maybe not got a cruise.
Yeah.
But luckily,
Things
we
worked
did.
out. We'll see how things play out in the future too.
So, all right, guys, if you already haven't subscribed, please consider, if you found this information helpful, you can give us a thumbs up. If you have played in the casino and you have other maybe tips or tricks that might be helpful to not only us but our viewers, please list them in the comment section. And
yeah, and any experiences you may have had attempting something similar to this.
Yep. So, all right, guys, thank you so much, and we will see you in the post.
See you in the post, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.